There, you're watching the Morning News Show on CNN News 18 and I am Sriya Kundu, here to bring you all the latest developments from across the nation and around the world over the next 60 minutes. And while we begin the bulletin with some breaking news that we are getting, this is with regards to the COP28 that is ongoing in Dubai today. And what we have here is Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an interview with the UAE newspaper Aletihad has said that India is optimistic that the UAE-hosted COP28 will inject fresh momentum into effective climate action. India and the UAE stand as partners in shaping a greener and more prosperous future. And we remain steadfast in our joint efforts to influence the global discourse on climate action. Further, on climate finance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an interview has said that it is essential to recognize that the developing countries have not contributed in the creation of the problem, yet developing countries are willing to be a part of the solution. But they cannot contribute without access to the financing and technology needed. I have therefore advocated strongly for global cooperation for ensuring requisite climate financing and technology transfer. So this is what has been said by Prime Minister Modi. Earlier, we were showing you shots of Prime Minister Modi having arrived in Dubai last night when he was greeted with quite a warm welcome by the Indian diaspora there. Those were all the visuals we were bringing you. And right now what we are bringing you is that in an interview, he has put forward some very crucial points, especially the one where he says that although developing countries weren't responsible for the problem at hand, the creation of the very problem, they are ready to be a part of the solution. This is what he has said on climate finance. And he's also spoken about the event in general, and he said that India is optimistic that the UAE-hosted COP28 will inject fresh momentum into effective climate action. This is what he has said to a UAE newspaper, Aletihad, is what we are learning. Earlier, we also saw MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi give us a brief about his itinerary, wherein he will be attending the World Climate Action Summit, which is the high-level segment of COP28. And what we got to know is further with regards to his full packed agenda today. Starts off with the morning with the opening events of the high-level climate event where the Prime Minister will be delivering his address. Thereafter, he'll be attending a special event hosted by the UAE on transforming climate finance, and subsequently the Prime Minister will also be hosting with UAE an event that will look at agreed credits, which is an initiative that the Prime Minister has personal interest in, and he will also be attending an event co-hosted with Sweden called the Leadership Group on Industrial Transition led IT, and interspersed with a large number of bilaterals during the day. 6 bilaterals is what we know so far. We have the visuals of the meeting that's been taking place right now. You can see it on your screens. This is the particular visuals that we are getting of a meeting that is ongoing between the two countries, UAE and India. And as we were just bringing to you, it is quite an important meet, especially where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has quite a lot that is to be done within today itself. Host of bilateral meetings that he will be attending that we were just bringing you details with regards to, but also in general the COP28 event, he will be addressing that as well in the opening ceremony. And there are high hopes they have from this particular event, because there is a lot that is to be discussed here. It's a very important event that's taking place in Dubai, and what we know is that today he will be arriving at the leadership pavilion of the COP28 venue at the Expo City, and later in the day, that is, and leaders will then have a welcome photograph with the UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. These are the details we have with regards to the event that is to take place through the day today. And right now we have Arun Dhanta joining us on this broadcast to bring us more details with regards to what the Prime Minister has said to Aletihad, which is a UAE newspaper. Arun, a very good morning to you. Very firstly, the Prime Minister has said that India is very optimistic with the fact that UAE has hosted COP28, and this will be injecting a fresh momentum into an effective climate action. Now, we've always seen the Prime Minister speak very passionately with regards to the climate changes and what all could be done to come to a joint solution, cooperative solution between nations. How are we looking at what all has been said by him?
Well, I think, see, Prime Minister Modi, giving this interview, is a clear indication or a message that how important this, COP28 is, and of course, most importantly, how important is climate action plan is, which is need of the hour for every country. And we had seen various multiple meetings, taking place even in the past to find out a solution, to make a strategy which can have some sort of, respite to the climate. But, it did not really come to the terms or to exact solution for it. Now, Prime Minister Modi, through this interview, at the backdrop of COP28, giving clear indication and messaging to everyone that how important it is everybody for every country to come together and make a fresh momentum into effective climate change action plans. And in fact, India and UAE will have to play a very crucial role in shaping a greener and more prosperous future. And I think that would be a message for a global community as well. And Prime Minister Modi has also mentioned in this interview that how developing countries have not contributed in the creation of the problem. Yet, these countries are willing to be part of the solution. They cannot contribute without the access to the financing and the technology needed. So therefore, he was stressing there on the global cooperation and also sharing the climate financing and technology transfer. That is something which is very, very important, because climate is something which is essential. If we don't have a proper strategy in place for climate, then of course we will face the consequences, as we are already seeing in many countries, the problem which is happening due to some of the action which we are taking globally, and therefore all the countries are suffering, and therefore perhaps people are expecting some sort of you know plan or strategy will be coming out of this COP28.
Absolutely, Arun. Thank you so much for bringing in all those details with regards to what the Prime Minister has said. Right now, we also have Aman Sharma joining us on the broadcast to give some more insights with regards to what's been said. Aman, a very good morning to you. Well, Prime Minister Modi has always paid a lot of importance. Even during the G20 presidency, we had seen that climate action was given a lot of focus on. And in fact, before leaving for Dubai also, he said that he's going to be walking the talk on climate action. And now this is what he has said, especially with regards to the part where he's spoken about developing nations not being a part of the problem, but willing to be a part of the solution. How crucial is this a message, especially from India's standpoint, where Prime Minister Modi has been saying that we are the voice of the global south now?
Absolutely, Grihasi. And this interview to Aletihad comes just before the PM is also scheduled to speak at the COP later today. So India, if you read this interview closely, it's clear that PM Modi is also laying out the India's agenda at COP28. It's for climate justice, it's for climate finance, and as you said, for the greater climate action. So Prime Minister Modi in this interview also and making it very clear that India, in fact, has exceeded all the climate goals that it had fixed. It has achieved them ahead of time, and it is high time that the developed nations, walk the talk on the issue of the climate funding. This fund which has been promised for many, many years but never been fulfilled ever since, the Paris COP. The Prime Minister is very clear that, that needs to be delivered to the developing countries, and also be it on renewable energy or be it, shaping a more greener, prosperous future, as the PM is saying regarding the UAE as well, that India has always walked the talk. India, in fact, is become a pioneer in the field of both sustainability as well as renewable energy, and that is what the PM will also be highlighting in his address at the COP. But this issue of ensuring requisite climate financing, this is something that the PM Modi has been very clear about. Even in this interview, he is saying that he has always maintained that climate change is a collective challenge and it demands a unified global response. So it is not just the responsibility of the developing nations. In fact, the developed nations have contributed the most to climate damage, over the past decades. So now this time the responsibility was more on them to help the developing countries, and the quote that the PM has used, it is essential to recognize that developing countries have not contributed in the creation of the problem, yet developing countries are willing to be a part of the solution. I think this is the line that India is going to take at the COP, and the Prime Minister saying that UAE and India are good partners in this aspect, and going ahead, they should collaborate further and put this kind of moral pressure also on the developed countries to deliver on the issue of climate funding, as I said, which has been pending like forever, despite a commitment being made towards that, the developing countries will be helped in this aspect to take on the challenge of climate change.
Absolutely, Aman. Definitely quite a crucial line, that's quite a crucial statement that's come in from the Prime Minister right ahead of the opening ceremony of the COP28. Right now, let's get into the depth of the COP28 summit that's to take place today. Now, leaders from across the world are in Dubai for the 28th edition of the COP summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Dubai yesterday to attend the crucial climate summit and got a warm welcome from the Indian diaspora, wherein they had been chanting Ab ki baar 400 par, and these were chants that echoed throughout. For the second time in 3 years, Prime Minister Modi will attend the annual climate conference, and during the summit, he is slated to address the assembly, engaging in 6 bilateral meetings with key global counterparts. Additionally, Prime Minister will actively participate in 3 high-level events, co-hosting 2 alongside the UAE. Now, his multifaceted involvement underscores India's unwavering commitment to combating climate change on a global scale. India is expected to play a global role in championing the cause of climate. This is what we know so far with regards to the COP28 summit. And right now, we will slip into a few reactions we have coming in with regards to this story.
In terms of Prime Minister's participation at the COP28, Honorable Prime Minister will deliver his address at the opening session of the World Climate Action Summit. Besides his address to the COP28, Prime Minister will also be participating in 3 high-level side events, of which 2 are being co-hosted by India. The first high-level event, which is being co-hosted by India and the UAE, is the launch of Green Credits Initiative. Second side event, co-hosted by India and Sweden, is the launch of Lead IT 2.0, essentially a leadership group for energy transition. India has taken a leadership role in shaping the global agenda on climate and environment, including through focusing on this issue in the 2 Voice of Global South Summit organized by India, first in January this year and most recently the one earlier this month. India's approach to climate action is deeply rooted in our civilizational ethos and is reflected foremost in our contributions and our ambitious and effective national policies, especially those which are aimed at economic development, energy, health, and nutrition. We have also been pioneering and in the forefront in taking global initiatives in fighting climate change and its impacts. These initiatives include, as I just said,
He has a full-packed agenda tomorrow. It starts off in the morning with the opening events of this high-level climate event. The Prime Minister will deliver his address. Thereafter, he attends a special event hosted by UAE on transforming climate finance. Subsequently, Prime Minister will host with UAE an event that will look at green credits, which is an initiative Prime Minister has a personal interest in, and subsequently Prime Minister will be attending an event hosted with Sweden, co-hosted with Sweden, called the Leadership Group on Industrial Transitions, Lead IT, and interspersed with this a large number of bilaterals during the day.